Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend, and if you're in a part of the country that's experiencing the severe weather or flooding, I hope you're keeping safe. Today I wanted to share with you a small story. I often at weekends like to go to kind of dog adoption fairs, mainly just to play with the dogs. And I was at one a couple of weekends ago, and I overheard a conversation between two people. And one of them was saying, to be a Daichuan, to be a guide dog, must be a terrible thing for the dog because 盲人的生活很苦. So in other words, 经济条件不好. And the other person who was speaking, they agreed with that. They thought, yeah, much better to be the dog of a rich person who can give them the best food, the best toys, etc., etc., etc. And it made me think a little bit because, firstly, it shows a grave misunderstanding of dogs as a species, but also I think is lessons that we all can learn, both from the dog and from that conversation. Why does it misunderstand dogs as a species? Well, ask yourself, what do dogs value most in this world? It certainly isn't living in a fancy house. It isn't cars. In general, it isn't material possessions at all. As many of us dog owners know, a chew toy can be virtually any object in your house. It does not necessarily have to be an expensive dog toy. Dogs value most of all is company. Dogs are one of the most social animals. So to be a Daichuan actually is probably one of the happiest things for the dog of all. Maybe it doesn't live in the best economic conditions, but as long as it gets enough food, that dog gets to spend 24/7 with doing exactly what it wants to do, which is 陪伴它的主人. We can translate that into our own lives because there is one thing that we do share in common with dogs. We have many biological differences and many behavioural differences, but why are dogs the most popular companion animal in the world? Why do we love dogs? We love dogs because they and us are social species. They give us love, they give us attention, they're happy when they see us. It's a very simple equation. We do not love dogs because they give us stuff. We do not love dogs for material reasons. So why don't we apply the same logic to our personal relationships? The conversation that I heard made me a little bit sad because it speaks to a poison I feel overall in society, which is the perception that material goods either represent love, can buy love, or can cover up for a lack of love and time. As a parent, you're often in a difficult position, of course, in balancing your job and time with your child, because you know that time with your child is a lot more important and precious to them than gifts. And the same exists in interpersonal relationships. If you feel that you're in a situation where you're buying love through economics, through a high salary, through buying gifts and these things, then is it really truly a real relationship? Probably not, because the real thing that humans crave, or should crave if they value as a person, is time spent, an emotional and social connection, which, like dogs, is the most important and fundamentally hardwired into our species. We need only look at the greatest love stories of our age, whether it be Romeo and Juliet or any of the hundreds of stories that we hear, to understand that the kernel of those stories is not the fact that people bought each other lots of stuff or lived an incredibly luxurious lifestyle. It was the fact that they formed an emotional, spiritual, or thinking connection with another human being. They felt belonging, they felt love, and therefore they felt 安全感. Or put another way, if you're looking for the ultimate meaning in your life, and you think you'll find that meaning in money and objects, you're trying to negate thousands, tens of thousands, millions of years of our evolution as a social species. And maybe, like the guide dog, you can find it a little bit more in the company of those you love and in the motivation, intrinsic motivation, in the tasks that you're best to perform.